A few days ago, at a facility in Kalpakkam, India, reached a major milestone in engineering. Their Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor finally achieved criticality. In medical terms, a patient going critical is an emergency. In physics, it's the exact opposite. As this diagram shows, criticality simply means the reactor has reached a state of perfect, sustained balance, where one splitting atom releases a neutron that triggers exactly one new reaction. This facility is a breeder reactor. During operation, it generates more usable nuclear fuel than the amount required to run the reaction. Engineers have spent decades working on this loop for a highly practical reason. The nation is currently backed into a corner by a crippling multi-billion-dollar energy shortage, and they need a way out. Right now, keeping the country running requires importing about $150 billion worth of fossil fuels every single year. The physical toll is steep. Airborne pollution from coal and vehicles is tied to an estimated 1.25 million deaths annually in India alone. Standard renewable options are part of the solution, but they have physical limits. Solar and wind rely on weather and the time of day, requiring massive storage networks to maintain a baseload. Hydroelectric power is consistent, but it requires drowning vast tracts of usable land. To generate just 750 megawatts of electricity, the massive Idukki Dam required flooding 6,000 hectares of forest. By contrast, modern nuclear facilities are incredibly dense. The Koodankulam plant sits on just 1,000 hectares, yet it is designed to output 6,000 megawatts. High-density, clean baseload power is exactly what a growing population requires. But India faces a strict geographic bottleneck. They have very little of the natural uranium required to actually run those conventional reactors. Standard nuclear plants run on an extremely rare isotope called uranium-235. To make the chain reaction work efficiently, they use regular water as a coolant, which intentionally slows down the neutrons bouncing around inside the core. This diagram shows the core of a fast breeder reactor. It removes the water entirely. Without it, the neutrons flying out of the core are never slowed down. They travel at their original high speeds. The active core is then wrapped in a thick shell, a blanket, made of uranium-238. This specific material makes up over 99% of natural uranium, but in a standard reactor, it is essentially useless dead weight. When those high-speed, unslowed neutrons smash into that blanket, the uranium-238 absorbs them. Through a quirk of nuclear physics, the metal transmutes, turning into plutonium-239, a highly potent, fully usable fuel. Because water would ruin this process, engineers cool the reactor using molten sodium. Liquid metal conducts heat far better than water, letting the plant run at higher thermal efficiencies without needing massive, high-pressure containment vessels. By turning a common, useless metal into high-grade fuel, the reactor solves the resource shortage. But proposing new nuclear facilities still guarantees immediate public anxiety. That anxiety is rooted firmly in the ruins of Chernobyl and Fukushima. In the public consciousness, a reactor failure is viewed as identical to an atomic bomb detonating over a city. The physics of a power plant make a nuclear detonation physically impossible. Fukushima was a chemical hydrogen fire. Chernobyl was a catastrophic overpressurization of steam. The historical record of human loss tells a specific story. In 70 years of global commercial nuclear power, accidents have caused fewer than 6,000 deaths. For scale, the 1984 Bhopal chemical gas disaster killed over 15,000 people in a matter of days. Early reactors required human operators to manually stop disasters. Modern Generation 3 facilities utilize passive safety. If power drops, gravity and basic thermodynamics automatically flood the core with coolant. The physics shut the plant down without anyone needing to push a button. When measured per terawatt-hour, nuclear power results in drastically fewer fatalities than the daily operation of coal and oil plants. Modern engineering has systematically stripped away the catastrophic risks. Building this breeder reactor is not a sudden pivot to meet modern climate goals. It is the execution of the second phase in a highly specific, multi-generational roadmap drafted in the 1950s. The architect of that roadmap was Dr. Homi J. Bhabha. He knew exactly what resources his country possessed, and he designed India's three-stage nuclear program to exploit them. He understood that while India had almost no natural uranium, its southern beaches held massive deposits of thorium, some of the largest reserves on the planet. But there's a hurdle. You cannot just put thorium into a reactor and burn it. It requires a specific fissile material to act as a starter for the reaction. This diagram reveals the true purpose of the fast breeder. The plutonium generated in Stage 2 provides the fuel necessary to sustain the thorium-based reactors of Stage 3. Achieving criticality at Kalpakkam proves the middle link of the chain. It provides the catalyst needed to use thorium, allowing India to move away from coal imports and secure a domestic energy supply estimated to last for millennia.